Hello, GotAUkulele.com back. It is instrument day, review day. It's a Chinese instrument. One of those ones that you can only get on Amazon. Now, I know I said that I was not going to be reviewing those anymore, and that's because one or two of those brands are using some fairly questionable marketing tactics to get reviews. I had this one on the shelf. I actually bought this one. This wasn't sent to me in return for a favourable review. This is mine. And I bought it with some blog proceeds a while ago, and it's been sat on the shelf, and I've been umming and ahhing about whether to review it or not. And I thought, what the hell, I'll do it, but this is the last one. The brand, Mugig, horrible name, and it is their MUK-2 Cutaway concert ukulele. And at first glance, it's a rather attractive thing. It's made of all laminate mahogany, two-piece top, two-piece sides, two-piece very, very slightly curved back. And we've got appointments. We've got dark wood edge binding to the top and the back. And the top binding is complemented by the mother of pearl inlay, nothing around the sound hole. But we've also got like a dark wood comfort edge chamfer here, which is usually the preserve of much higher end instruments. And then this thing here, which is really interesting, that's a kind of half cutaway. It's kind of beveled in. It's really nicely done. Dark wood. The point of that is it's to help you get access to the upper frets. When we come on to the price of this one, I'll just question why that's there. I mean, this is squarely aimed at beginners and new players. Who's going to be going up here? Maybe. I don't suppose it's doing any harm. It's all right. I just think it's a bit pointless. And there we are. It's all finished in satin. Sadly, that finish isn't the best. There's some finish marks alongside the binding in one or two places. It's a bit messy. But from a distance, it looks good. We've got a pin bridge, plastic pins, compensated bone satellite is almost identical to the one on the MUK-2 that I reviewed a few weeks ago. And as I've been saying online, I lose track now as to which of these Chinese brands are connected to each other. I think they're all kind of part of the same cartel. All very strange. Maybe they're part of MUK. MUK are part of Mugig. I don't know. I thought Mugig were part of Enya. Answers on a postcard. We've got a pretty messy inside. The build, we've got notched linings. We've got overly chunky bracing. Loads of glue seeping out of those notched curved linings. Which is a bit of a shame. Up to the neck, that is typically Chinese in profile, 34mm, too narrow, C-shaped, chunky and round. It's made of three pieces of akume wood with a joint here and a joint at the top, topped with a rosewood fingerboard that isn't edge bound, and they've tried to stain the edges of the frets to hide them, but they've not done a great job. The frets are on the edge of being sharp. Not hyper sharp, I've seen much worse, but they need work. Position markers, 5, 7, 10, double at the 12th, one at the 15th. No markers on the side. Past the nut, and incidentally the setup, the nut needs to go down a bit, the bridge needs to go down even more, and those sharp fret edges. These are the pitfalls of buying from Amazon-only brands. They don't go through a dealer, they don't get set up. If you're a beginner buying one of these and you don't know your way around a setup, you either have to pay for one, or you're going to have to bodge it yourself. Or you could just go to a dealer, pay a little bit more, and get them to do that for you. Headstock, attractive enough. Laser etched logo. Everything's laser etched these days. It just drives me mad. But it's attractive enough. And the tuners, which aren't set quite straight, are sealed chrome gears with the MuGik logo. It's only when you look at them more closely that you see there's quite a few flaws in the metalwork. You can see the seams on the castings, on the buttons. They're really, really cheap, and that cheap transfers through to when you use them because they're all of different tensions. Not great. Aquila strings, and you get a Mugig thin padded gig bag with shoulder strap, and these are RRP in the UK at £45, and in fact I've seen them for about £36 on Amazon. I mean, it's just a ridiculously low price, especially for these sort of appointments. But I'll come on to that in a moment because it's been kind of a difficult one to review this. So, on the whole, some nice appointments, fairly nicely put together, some terrible finishing inside, sharp fret edges, needs a setup, poor finishing on the body, terrible tuners, mixed bag really. It's light enough, but it's slightly neck heavy. which bothers me. It's not the worst I've seen, but it is slightly neck heavy. But it's the tone. It doesn't really do it for me. It's not very loud, and it's very one-dimensional, and it gets muddy when you play it strummed. It's passable. The sustain's not great. It's passable. Might get a bit lost in the ukulele club. Not a bad sound, just very boxy and one-dimensional. Bell-like, jangly and sharp, this is not. And you're probably saying, well, yeah, but it's only 36 quid. Absolutely, it's only 36 quid. And you're getting all these wonderful appointments that you don't actually need. It's a funny one. I have to give this a high score on value for money on the review, on the written review linked below, because it is cheap. But value for money isn't everything, and it's got its other problems, and most notably I don't like the sound of it. I think it's really lacking. Spend a bit more and you'll get some really nice characterful, not expensive, but more than 36 quid, characterful tone ukuleles out there from people like Snail and Baton Rouge. I think there's a race to the bottom going on with ukuleles that's quite worrying. People are regularly posting on Facebook, look how cheap I got this one, like it's some sort of competition, like I've got to get the cheapest. Why? It's a musical instrument. Why the drive to the lowest price possible? I think this is what you get. You get something that's all, to coin a UK phrase, all mouth and no trousers. It's got the looks. At a distance, you get in a bit more closely, you start to see the flaws. You start to feel the bad setup and the sharp edges, you see the poor tuners, and then you play it and it's... No, that's not for me, this one. The Mugig, MUK-2 Cutaway concert, Amazon only, and this is going to be the last review that I do of instruments that you can only get on Amazon. I want to review instruments you can get in actual stores and go and buy. GotAUkulele will be back in the run-up to Christmas. We've got a couple more reviews coming for 2017. I think we're looking at having done about 51 for the whole year, which is some going, I think. Take care. See you soon.